day, a Jew expresses his pride for being a part of a unique nation. Baruch Elokeinu shebara'anu lichvodo v'ivdilanu min hato'im. We thank Hashem, we praise Hashem for having created us in His honor to do His will. And He has set us apart min hato'im, from all those who are derailed, who are misled, who live a purposeless life. But the question is, ladies and gentlemen, in what way have we been set apart? In what way are Jews different than non-Jews? If you tell me because we are circumcised, I will point you in the direction of the Muslims, they are circumcised as well. If you tell me that we have a kippah, I will point you in the direction of the Pope. He also wears a kippah. That we speak Hebrew, there are many non-Jews that speak Hebrew as well. But is it the Torah? Not really. This Torah has been translated in over 100 languages. Many non-Jews possess this Torah, read the Torah, know portions of the Torah. So in what way are we different than the rest of the world? Sha'anu kov'im itim la Torah. We treat the Torah not as a piece of archaeology that is placed in a museum just to look at, just to observe it, to reminisce our past. We dedicate time, precious time of our day, to learn the Torah and to observe its commandments. Without that, we're not any different than anyone else. So important is the learning of the Torah that the rabbis tell us that when we leave this world, Lahar Me'ah Ve'esrim, one of the first questions they will ask us when we head upstairs, Aim kava'ta itim la Torah? Did you set aside time to learn Torah? Why is that so important if we set aside time to learn Torah? Because when we head upstairs, they're going to show us a video of our entire life. A very short life, and for many, unfortunately, a wasted life, because they did not learn Torah. They will show us a video and they will point to certain frames of the video and they will tell us, had you learned Torah, your life would have been different. Perhaps you would not have gotten divorced. Perhaps you would have had more meaning in your life. You would have been a happier individual. After all, it is only through learning Torah that you would understand the ultimate purpose of why we're here. What a shame. What a shame it will be indeed for those who head upstairs and they point in the direction of the video and show us how life would have been differently had we set aside time to learn Torah. But many will come up with an excuse. Borei Olam, I did not have the time. I was so busy. And what will they answer? They will tell us, of course, we know you were busy. You were busy reading the sports section of the LA Times. You became an expert on rechilut, on all the gossip of the newspapers. On that, you had the time. For that, you became an expert, and not for the Torah. Ki karov hadavar me'od beficha u'belvavecha la'asoto, we read in this week's parasha. It is so easy, it is so close. Lo b'shamayim hi. It's not difficult to set aside time to learn Torah, each one according to his level. Morai v'rabotai, there will be no excuses upstairs. Moshe Rabbeinu, on the last day of his life, what does he do? Atem nitzavim hayom lifnei Hashem. Lifnei Hashem, we're standing before Hashem. What does it mean, lifnei Hashem? Throughout 40 years in the desert, we were not lifnei Hashem. On the last day, if you read Parshat Nitzavim, you will find several times an emphasis on Haktuvah b'Sefer Torah. He's referring to the Aron. The Eben Ezra says Lifnei Hashem means Misaviv la'Aron. The entire Jewish nation on the last day of Moshe's life was surrounding the Aron Habrit. And Moshe Rabbeinu reminds us, this is the Ikar. That is why the end of Parashat Kitavo reminds us about Mishmoret HaBrit. Says Rabbi Elyahu HaKohen, the famous author of many books, including a sefer called Smuchim La'ad. Yesh smichut ben apsukim, he says, between the pasuk that ends Parashat Kitavo about observing this Brit and about pointing to the Aron. He says the Even Ezra has a good point. When we point to the Aron, when we surround the Aron, it's because of the Shmirat HaBrit. We're being told, we're being reminded that without observing what the Torah says inside, it's worthless. Remember, Moshe is about to leave this world. He reminds us, this is the Ikar. This is the most important part of our life. Ki lekach tov natati lachem torati al ta'azovu. Don't let go of this. Morai v'rabotai, the last two mitzvot of the Torah, the last two, 613, the last two have to do with Torah. Mitzvat Hakel, number 612. This is the year of the mitzvah of Hakel after Shemitah, where all the Jews, men, women, and children, would come to hear the Torah. The king would read from it. But why the women? And why the children? The women, even though they were not obligated to learn Torah, when they head upstairs, they will be criticized as well. Why didn't you encourage your husband to go to learn Torah? You could have. You pushed them, after all, for other things that you cared about. Don't the women push the men all the time? Then they should push them and encourage them to learn Torah. And the children, did you send them to proper schools, Jewish schools, where they would be imbued with the values of the Torah? The last mitzvah, number 613, Ktivat Sefer Torah. To write. But why write? The writing of the Sefer Torah reminds us that it's not just about having the Sefer Torah locked away in a box. We write the Sefer Torah because we recommit ourselves. Recommit ourselves to Naaseh v'Nishma, to what is written inside. We want the Sefer Torah and what is written to go over to our children. We have to, for that, be a role model. We write a Sefer Torah. And what better zechut to have the week before Rosh Hashanah than to write a Sefer Torah? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, "B'zchut that you wrote for my honor, I will write every one of you, B'sifran shel tzadikim gemurim, in the book of the righteous." Amen.